Thank you, everyone, for joining today's Tech Talk series, episode number 9. I'm Imran Salahuddin, Vice President, Migrations and Technology. Microsoft is a customized software development company that specializes in migrating old technologies to new platform. We are the leading provider of professional technical services for Visual Fox Pro, VFP, Visual Basic 6, known as VB6, and ASP legacy applications. Not just migrations. Microsoft does all kind of software development works. Microsoft keep improving its practices and procedures and tools. In today's episode, we are going to talk about our newest tool, CodeAuto. And on to talk on that, today I have our senior technical project manager Nelle with us. Nelle and his team has developed CodeAuto under the supervision of our CEO, Mr. G. N. Shah. Welcome, Nelle.
Yeah, thank you. So, hello everyone. So I am Nellaiappan. I am working with Microsoft for last 11 years. I have worked on and delivered a number of migration projects. I worked on many of the tools that Microsoft has developed. CodeAuto is our newest tool. So today we'll discuss this tool and how our team uses it in a day-to-day life to make the development work faster.
Okay. Microsoft is an organization that keeps moving with innovations and new ideas. We do a lot of legacy migration projects. We have developed a number of tools to deliver projects to our clients faster without compromising on quality. Artificial intelligence is really making magic. Generative AI is something everyone talks about and try to use it every day in their work. Microsoft team has developed CodeAuto and adopted it to be used in their tasks. CodeAuto is our developers' new colleague for pair programming. It's really great tool that and our productivity of our developers is increased a lot. And of course, we will see in this session today that how it is working. No question, it's the generative AI is making the life easy and help developer deliver the work very fast. But it also comes with some challenges also. That's why we developed the Code Auto. So, Nelly, define what Code Auto is.
Yeah. So CodeAuto is an extension we created for Microsoft Visual Studio Code. So it translates user-required tasks into prompts and uses a generative AI engine, like ChatGPT, to generate code or the content. This extension can save developers a significant amount of time and effort by automating the process of writing code and creating the content.
So, Nelly, as you mentioned, Code Auto uses popular generative engines behind the scene. So, what benefit Code Auto brings to the developers?
Yeah. So CodeAuto is developed to provide two major features. So the main thing is like generative AI is very useful, but conflicts with many security regulations. Most of the organizations have restricted their users access to these generative AI engines to ensure their code and data security. So CodeAuto uses the organization's license, hence it provides the same license to all users. This way, that the code or data is not shared with everyone or used to train AI models in general. Secondly, the CodeAuto is an extension to Microsoft Visual Studio Code, which is a free tool used by a very high number of users. CodeAuto provides a context menu to perform required actions very easily. The developers do not need to switch windows or copy paste the code here and there in their day-to-day work. So it makes the work very fast.
Really good to know. So, Nelly, I think everyone must be very excited to see the Code Auto and learn how developers are using it in their daily tasks and make their lives easy and deliver the work faster. So, let's see a Code Auto demo.
Yeah. Uh, this is the Visual Studio Code, and you can see the right side is the code window where we are going to have our programs and how we are writing up, and left side is our the code auto placeholder for this. You can see the code auto extension is installed here, so you can see or ask whatever you want. So Let me show what are the options available for the code auto. So if you have some code window and when you select some piece of code and do a right click, it can brings up all the options or all the features which code auto is having. So these are the major set of features. So we have ask CodeAuto. You can ask CodeAuto for whatever you want to write a program or any stuff, or you can create your own prompts. You can have a code conversion, which can convert to a predefined list of different languages. You can generate an unit test, which can have a predefined set of unit test scripts available, and you can refactor the code. You can write documentation, bulleting, or explain selection, the code inspection, and mainly you can create the skill queries as well. So let me go into a bit of the features, what you can do with this. So this is a placeholder where the user can do whatever he wants to do for. So I'm going to say like create a to find. So when you ask for, it can generate your code or whatever the prompt which you are giving up. It can provide you the result based on that.
That's
It
good.
provides the program of the Python in Python. So it works with any languages. It can be work with any legacy language, very old languages, as well as very modern languages as well. So once the code is generated, the user can it provides some explanation of what this code is doing as well, and the developers can simply double click here, which can brings up here, and they can start using in their project. So whatever it can help beginners to the project or who are stuck in the things, or for the experienced developers as well. It can help them out. So it is not restricting to the any level of developers. It can work for a novice developer to the very experienced developer as well. Let me go for another use case where most of our developers are for our customers we are working for. So the main thing is that the code, or what to say, that the code coverage is the main thing, and what are the softwares we are delivering should be very, very, very quality sensitive. So we are highly, we are focused on quality. So our developers can use it for generating the unit test. So you can generate a unit test for your piece of code, and I'll show you how to generate a unit test using any unit framework. So it can generate, this is a method, the validate password, which have a provide an input validation based on these regular expressions. So it generates a unit test script for that. So it will provide you the one method for the valid password and another method for the invalid password, and it can provide various cases. So this can help the developer to make sure that this, whatever the methods or whatever the code they write is properly tested before passing on to the QA team. So they can directly put it up and start running the things and use it for that purpose. The other thing could be like, as we are mainly our main business, one of the main businesses on the migration, and we want to daily basis we have to deal with the legacy code. It can talk with the legacy code as well. So this is our a sample, the legacy code in FoxPro. Whenever the developer comes in and start migrating the application, the developers might be new to the team or the experienced guide or whatever it is. So they can see when they see a legacy code, first they want to understand what this code is doing. So they can simply select the code and right click and go for explain selection. So this can help you to clearly explain what this code does. So this way the developer can understand what this code is doing, and he can write the logic. If he find any complex code, he can simply select that piece of code and identify what this code is doing. This can provide him the very clear information on what this code is doing. Okay, and still the user can able to convert this to another language. Like I can able to convert this to an equivalent C# code. So When I go for this generate C sharp code, this is a login validation program, and it can generate an equivalent in C sharp.
That is great.
So the developer can directly use this and use it for their usage. And another use case, the major use case which can save time for the developers is like when they have a class model, they want to create an equivalent the procedures and the data layer code. So what they can do is they can select the class and go for create SQL queries.
Wow.
So it will generate all your CRUD operation procedures, and the user can simply copy paste or put it into the database project and start using it. Provides you the create, the get, the update, and delete, and it identifies what could be the primary key. I didn't mention what is the primary key for this class model. It itself identify the employee ID is the primary key, and it looks up from that. And we can still ask for whenever you get a result, and you can still ask for a follow-up questions as well. The follow-up questions you can simply put it up here, like uh, create a data layer code using video.net and C sharp for these procedures. So for that employee entity, it will provide you the data layer code, and the developer can just put it up in the code. It saves a lot of time for the developers. So all these prompts are we created, we tested, and we put up a default context menus. So you can get used to this and get make use of these predefined prompts.
So, Nelly, are there any follow-up questions also that it can answer?
This was the follow up question I just asked for, and it generates you the data layer code.
Oh, that's good.
So
That's fantastic.
yeah, yes,
That's fantastic. Okay. So, thank you, Nelly. CodeAuto is really amazing tool, and our developers love it. I know them. I talk to them every day. It generates the new code. It can write the test cases. It can migrate the legacy code. And if you don't want to migrate it, you can just use it to understand the legacy code and the logic. And it can also give you some guidance as well that how to implement it. That's all fantastic, really. Um, let's have some questions from audience at this stage. Let's see if we are having some questions. Oh, yes. First obvious question um, is how can we download Code Auto and is it free? So first I answer the second question. Yes, it's free. You can visit Code Auto website. It's codeauto.ai. You can see link on the screen. Register, download it, and add it to your code Visual Studio Code. You don't need to provide any credit card information for payments or anything. CodeAuto is free for the individual use. However, it requires OpenAI API license and it uses the ChatGPT. Okay, so let's take another question. Okay, so another question is it compatible with Java? Yes, Nelly?
yes. It supports Java and any language. You can if you notice that I have an option to convert to Java as well as the other languages as well. It can do Java or Python or any languages. There is no restriction.
That's good. Okay, let's wait for next question. Okay, so the question is how will we follow code instruction and architecture of our project?
Mhm.
So I believe Nele it provides not the whole project, right? But it
Yes.
provides the pieces to it, right?
Yeah.
But yes,
Yes. Yes.
it's
So
all about the prompting, right? So
yeah, it's all about prompting. And what we can do is right now we are enhancing this tool to train your the project architecture. So we have our Dazzle architecture, and we want to create the any projects used on that. So we can train this model using our architecture. So it's the same way, once it is rolled out to the end users, they can use their project architecture and create any new code based on the architecture. You can train the model, and it will stay onto your individual things. So for the business users, we can have a private instance, and it can stay with you, because in any companies, they don't want to expose their architecture or the code architecture of the application to be exposed to the outside world for their training purpose. So you can have your private instance and have this code auto for you in your private instance, and you can use it for train with your data model, and all the code will be generated by following that.
that's, that was a great question actually. We have another question. Can we generate DB SQL Server code like stored procedure functions, etc.?
Yes, yes. You can create any kind of store procedures, like as I showed you, when you show a class, and from the class you can able to generate a store procedure. Based on that, you can generate, or you put your input under the custom prompt, and it can generate you the better results.
Okay. Another question that we receive is, does it work with any language?
Yeah, yeah. People are concerned about what language, so I keep on saying it works with any language. Going to the stone age of DBase or COBOL or FoxPro. We are working with FoxPro, and we are dealing with COBOL as well. All those things are working, and even DBase, all those things are basic. All those things are working to the current trending technologies as well. So it works.
Right, that's good. Yes, I also used it to generate some legacy code, and I was amazed. Right? So it was
Yeah,
working. If it is working for legacy languages, it must be working for the modern languages
yeah,
more quite. Another question came, which is similar to the previous question about the our own architecture, and I think Nelly, you already gave this. We have unlimited kind of opportunities with Code Auto and the generative AI. So
yes,
if it is not available today, it is in the roadmap, right? So if you have downloaded this extension, whenever there is an update available, you guys can have that update, and of course, the features are being added, and you will get the most updated features. Yes, and another question came, will you guys make regular releases to CodeAuto? Yes, as we are adding the features, we are releasing those features in the CodeAuto, and if you have it, you can install the latest version of it, and you will get that. Does CodeAuto share the code with other developers or use to train its models? A very, intelligent question, a very important question. Yes, Nilan, what do you say
yeah.
about it?
So CodeAuto does not share because of our license model. So while purchasing the API license through the OpenAI, you have a provision to define whether you want to use your the licensing for the training purpose. You can simply ignore that. And Microsoft doesn't store or capture any user activity, even if you're going to train your model or ask you write your custom prompts or anything. Microsoft doesn't store anything. That's in our privacy policy. You can go through that as well.
That sounds really good because this is something that the companies are really worried about, and they restricted the use of generative AI tools.
Yes,
With Code Auto, it answers them, and they can use it, organization wide, and their data, their code will not go out.
correct.
As per, I mean, the OpenAI uh, instructions, right?
Yes.
So another question we received is, what are the general coding practices used? I think with question by meaning uh, the coding standards, right?
Mhm.
So I believe it's based on the generative AI engine, that what code it is generating. So the
Yes.
beauty of this tool is, since it uses the generative AI, you can define your own standard as well, right? If you follow a certain standard, this will get added to the prompt, and then it will generate the code that follows your own standards that you have implemented in your organization, which, I mean, which can be like the variable names, right? How you are commenting the code, how you're defining the class names, and all those things. So this is something, the feature in pipeline. It is also coming in the future. Right now it's not available, but it is coming. As the architecture thing is coming, this is also coming. But it's a really very good question. Does code auto do error checking, or is that dependent on the user working with the tool to identify mistranslated functions? So now let me read that question again. Does code
Mm,
auto do error checking, or is that dependent on the user working with the tool to identify mistranslated functions?
We have a option to find the errors in the code. You can use that, and once you have your code written, or once the code is generated, you can put the double click on the code, which comes to your editor, and you can use this functionality of find error in code. If it is any errors, it can show you up what the error it is.
Right.
So it's a real time.
Yes, so I think, and this is something which we call the pair programming as well. So let's suppose if there is an error in the code which my eyes are not catching. So usually the developers need some fresh pair of eyes to look at the code and find what the mistake is. And Code Auto is available with them 24 by 7. I mean, they can ask Code Auto, and obviously Code Auto will detect some issues in the code, or in the logic maybe. But business rules maybe it cannot detect, but the syntax error and some other logical issues it can very easily detect and suggest also that what is required to be fixed. Good question. Let's wait for a few more questions. I'm pretty sure this is something, this topic is everyone discussing, deciding, and the audience should have a lot of questions. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a current trending thing, and the people are more interested to see what's happening around them, and they can use it. Yeah.
So, what is the difference between Chat GPT and AI powered coding? Um, in theory, you can say it's the same thing, because Code Auto is also using the Chat GPT engine, but there is a difference that we discussed earlier in our talk, that if you go to the Chat GPT, your data will be shared. But if you are using the Core Auto, it uses the organization license key. Your data, your code will not be shared. Okay. Okay. The API you are using is of Chat GPT with database till date. Um,
Mm, yes. So the API which you are going to register with the OpenAI. So that time you need to purchase with the, if you are purchasing with the GPT 4.0,
uh-huh.
that can work with us. So you're going to input the API key, and our model is supports both the GPT 3.5 Turbo as well as 4.0 as well.
Okay, that's good. So I'm pretty sure that people have a lot more questions, right? And since we are at the end of our time, so I suggest everyone to please contact us if you want to discuss, more about your project and your solutions that you need. Please do contact us. Send us your questions. Okay, and if you have more questions about the Code Auto, we have the website, and all the details of this Code Auto are available there. You can see it. Thanks to everyone for joining us today. Microsoft development team uses Code Auto in migration projects and getting amazing results. We discussed all those things. We are very much sure that you will find the same when using it. So, if you have any questions about Code Auto, or if you want to discuss any other project with us, please contact us or Joe Raffinelli, who is our Director Technical Solutions. And thank you and take care. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you all.